a second.
Okay.
Tell us about. I understand you personally have solar panels
Yes.
at home. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yep.
Okay,
On my
fantastic.
roof. Yep.
Let's. How long have you had them?
Actually, just had them installed last May, so
Okay.
it's been less than a year. And these are solar electric system, and it's integrated. It's part of my roof in the sense of the shingles.
Yep.
So it's flush, which I and my wife also wanted for aesthetic reasons. It's a relatively small system, 1.3 kilowatt. And it was interesting kind of figuring this out because I have a lot of mature trees and a lot of shading. So really there's one spot on my roof, the south-facing part of the roof, where this makes sense.
Yep.
And so it's, like I said, it's a relatively small system, but it provides about 20% of the electricity I would need.
Really?
Yeah.
So, in tribute to that, what are you saving? I mean, is there like a substantial? Would you say a substantial savings, or is it worthwhile once you get done and get a couple years down the road?
Yeah. Now, talk about major investments. Buying a solar system is something that somebody should really research carefully because I spent like $9,000 on my system, and it's a small system.
Right.
Now, I do have an advantage though because I'm participating in a pilot project from Consumers Energy.
Okay.
And it's called, the concept is called a feed-in tariff, where actually they pay me a fairly attractive rate, 65 cents a kilowatt hour, and they actually buy all my power. I wouldn't encourage anybody to consider solar until they've done a lot of efficiency in their homes.
Yep.
But once you've done a lot of efficiency, and this attractive rate, I was thinking, yeah, this is the time to kind of make the jump. And I needed to replace my roof anyway.
Okay.
So I had a new shingles put on. This portion of the roof serves as shingles also. It's integrated into the roof.
Who installed it for you?
It's an Oakland County company called Luma Resources.
Okay.
Robert and Gary Allen. They run a family business, a roofing company actually, and they decided a number of years ago to look about diversifying into making solar roofing. Actually, they were highlighted during President Obama's State of the Union as kind of an example of here's a small business that kind of made the leap into a whole different type of business. And it's kind of exciting that we have this Oakland County company that's kind of, they're putting these kits together, like I said, the 1-2 kilowatt, and they're installing them in Michigan, but also what they'd like to do is basically ship the kits to roofers anywhere in the country who would then install them as part of a roofing system.
Was there any extra installation time beyond just reshingling your roof, or was it more involved, less involved? How did that go for you?
Yeah, it's more involved because you're basically talking about, in addition to the kind of the physical work of putting down the modules. Okay. You're talking about all the electrical connections. Yeah. And so if you saw my roof, you would see kind of a rectangle up there, and there's 21 panels that are connected together, and it's flush with the roof, and then there's some conduit coming down that goes into the attic and then into an inverter in my garage where the DC power is converted to AC, and then it basically feeds into the grid. Technically, I sell my power to Consumers Energy. Actually, the electrons go off the roof, go through a meter, and then go through another meter and into my house. Oh. That's what electricity does.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Imagine somebody has actually done these updates and they're ready to take the next step, such as you were ready to take the next step with the roof. How would they go about enrolling in a program such as this?
Well, actually, at this point in time, they couldn't enroll in that program because it's a pilot program.
Yep.
And what happened is Consumers Energy set up a fairly small pilot program, and the rate was attractive for a lot of people who were interested in solar energy, so it basically completely filled up in a matter of weeks.
Nice.
So I'm hopeful that Consumers Energy will kind of expand the program because there's a lot of interest out there. Right now, that program's not available, but if you were going to buy a solar electric system, there is a 30% federal tax credit, and also there's net metering, which means if you create extra electricity that you can't use in your house, you can put it on the grid and get a bill credit at the retail rate.
Wow.
Which helps with just the kind of give and take. Then you don't need a battery system. You don't have to store the electricity. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Which, from what I've heard in the past interviews, it tends to be the largest challenge right now.
Well, and it's
storing the electricity.
Yeah, and that's right. And batteries is an extra cost, and it's something you have to kind of operate and maintain. So it's nice to be able to those, let's say, in summer or something, maybe you're producing more power than you actually need. It's nice to be able to kind of put it on the grid. It goes to your neighbor, and you get a bill credit. Yeah. So that helps the economics a little. The federal tax credit helps a lot.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Does it need to be bright and sunshiny in order to get power off of it?
Well, the system will produce. Obviously, the sunnier it is, the more power.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it produces power most of the time, unless I've got snow on it.
Okay. All right. So unless there's something physically on top of it,
right,
it'll be able to draw something.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. And what if you were watching the inverter, which records in real time exactly what's being produced? Yeah, you would see it. It starts out slow in the morning and then increases as the day goes along. One thing about solar electric is that it matches very well what the electric demands of us citizens are.
Really?
Because the greatest demands on the electric grid is in the summer during the hottest days when the air conditioning goes on, and that's the time when electric photovoltaic systems create the most electricity. So it's a nice match between what we need and what it produces.